On the 23rd of May 2050, the 7th expansion of WeCross was released, Next Selector, and in 2022, Lilianthus and X published this post. Can we dig up a box and sell it? Anyone want to buy this for 15k with postage paid? Though I don't think it will pay off even if it comes out. Oi! 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 Well, hello cryptids, here's Crypto, and today we're focusing on the WX07 Next Selector, which celebrates its 10th anniversary when this video is published. Before we move on, I'd like to shout out a big thank you to Lilianthus on Twitter, because without him and this box, I would never have been able to make this video. The idea with this video is to present the full set of this expansion. And we're going to start with a key element of the WX07. It's with this expansion that the players discover for the first time an LRIG that is still really played and loved, Sachet. What's even more astonishing with this expansion, besides being 10 years old, is that it includes two of the most played cards of Sachet decks. All these boxes are still sealed, and that will be a real pleasure to open them with you. But before, let's dig in. In this set, each boosters contain a small card that acts as an advertisement with the announcement of the SP07 and SP08, coming with two new Blu-rays being released at the same time, and on the back of the same card we get the full listing of the set. Thus, we get to know that the set contains the following: 6 Liligu rares, 16 common Liligu, 10 super rares, 15 rares and 35 commons, but also that commons, rare and Liligu commons have a counterpart of themselves, a version that shines. To this list must be added 8 secret rares, but 6 of them are in fact counterparts of our 6 Liligu rares, but for the 2 others, it's another story, as they were in fact reprints from previous sets. Also, for the master set of this expansion, we must add a 158th card, which is Sachet in a Sleeping Girl rarity, which I do not own because she's incredibly pricey and rare, but I really hope and pray for us to open it in our future video of this box. So we've had a look at the expansion, now let's have a look on the cards of the expansion. The first card in this expansion is a Magnificent Sachet Plan Benevolent Messenger. Our first ability, during our turn, whenever one of our Resona enters the field, we may pay 1 white NR, and if we do so, we return the target Signy on our opponent's fields to their owner's end. A second action requires to pay 1 white NR and to put one of our Resona from the field into the Elec trash, and if we do so, we target 1 Signy on the opponent's field and we send it into the trash. Of course, the card is absolutely gorgeous, and all the details are absolutely incredible. The second card is a really good looking red Tama at level 4 of Tama Yorihime, Strangely United Fate. Unfortunately, her ability is level trivial and powerful because this red Tama plays around the cross mechanic. We're also gonna meet this mechanic in this set, but as the cross thing is quite bad, this Tama is one of whom hasn't been this much played in the past. The main asset of this Tama being a illustration which I found cool alongside a secret version who rocks it. The third card of this set is Milulun Union. Honestly, she's nicer and stronger than Tama Yorihime. Because this time, whenever a Signy with cross enters the field, you can draw 1 card, and if so, discard 1 card. That's a really interesting draw engine. A second ability, whenever 2 Signy become even, we can add a spell from a trash in our hand. And that could be really devastating for the next turn. The ability to recycle spell for free, that's really strong. Finally, a Laction effect. By banning her and so not attacking with her in the same turn, it allows us to draw 2 cards. But we can only use this ability if we control Cross Signy, which will of course be the gameplay of Milulun Union. The fourth card of this set is this Midoriko, who is incredible. She's marvelous, the artwork is splendid. Still, a secret rare version is disappointing when compared to the LRIG rare. By looking at both versions, I believe you can tell the difference, and honestly, this LRIG rare version is absolutely stunning. This Midoriko is way better than Tama Yorihime, but less than Milulun Union. And why? Well, okay, when a Signy with Cross enter the field, all of our Signy gain 2k of power, which isn't that bad, but that apart, well, yeah. Same, they were already better Midorikos to play at this time, and also the cross card played by Midoriko are played without the cross mechanics, so it may sound a bit weird, but we'll see that in a few moments. Fifth card, Ulyss and Ma of the Sin Gate. Almost same rank as Mililune, we're facing a powerful Urigu, cause when a Signy with Cross enter the field, one opponent Signy lose 2k of power, which is not crazy enough, but when two Signys become even, we can make the player mill the 5 first card of its deck, and finally, the action ability for one Black Hair and Downing Ulyss. Until the end of the turn, one opponent Signy lose 10k of power. We can only use this ability if we control Cross Signy, but that's still really strong. Our mill ability is the best, but well, that's not enough, for it's a great card. The next card of this set is also our first Rizona, Saturn, White Natural Planet. Emergence Condition. We have to target 3 of our non-Rizona Cosmos Signy from our field, whose total level is 7 and more, and send them into the trash just to play her. The cost is insane, but her abilities are beyond insanity. While Saturn remains on the field, our opponents can only control up to 2 Signys at the same time. Also, when she enters the field, if our opponent controls at least 3 Signy, our opponents have to send Signys from his field into the trash until she or he control only 2 Signy. Saturn is a Rizona, so a sort of Signy, she's a level 4 with 15k of power, and restrict our opponent to have more than 2 Signy on his or her field. This is abusively strong. She's quite the ace card of all Sashi's deck. She's incredible and marvelous. Marvelous. Next card is Sashi Moitié, Benevolent Messenger. Her ability is simple, all of your Rizona get plus 2k of power. After that we have Raise Hope. Until one of turn, one Signy on your opponent's field lose its ability. This could be quite interesting. That's followed by a strong Rizona, Jupiter, White Natural Planet, which is restricted to Sashi. Her Emergence Condition is less strict than Saturn's. We simply have to target and send 2 white non-Rizona Signy from our field to the trash to let her emerge. She also has 2 abilities when she enters the field. First, if we send 2 Signys with the same name into the trash for Jupiter, then we charge 2. Second one, until end of turn, all of the opponent's Signys lose their abilities. That's too good. Really, it's a really good card and one we often see played in Sashi's deck. Here we have 3 of Tamayo Hime, Cross Flame. It's a common Urigu. She's quite strong, really simple, the effect is quite great. No, I'm just kidding. She hasn't been playing and has been bad since day -10. Okay, Flaming Stubbornness. That's okay, even if it's for 2A NR with Barry, so it played. Now the Red Tamazart, Explosive Solidarity. This card can only be used if you have Cross Signy on the field, same as the previous one with Barry, so it played. Mililune Micro, same effect as the previous Tamayo Hime, nothing more to say unless that's a nice card, even if she isn't played. Cross Scramble, a card that I really like in this set. This card can only be used if you have Cross Signy on the field, well, yeah, okay. But we can cancel the ability of one spell, that's a spell cut-in card. Then we can use the cancelled spell from the opponent's trash, as we add it in hand and without paying its cost and ignoring its restriction. And that only for 1 NR. It's still a really huge card which can really push people to play or at least try to play Cross with Mililune. Then we have Peeping Choice, so it's more a Piluluk archetype card. We look at the opponent's end, then we choose one non-colorless card and we discard it from the opponent's end. And as this isn't limited and or restricted to the cross mechanism, that's really cool. Midoriko, Supportive Girl Type 3, Midoriko, same ability as Tama and Mililune, so we don't really care, and now we are crossing the one card on which we really need to stop, Calm after the Typhoon. When it first released, the card wasn't really seen as a threat by players. After all, you had to spend 6 NR to play it, and even though its effect was extremely strong, there were far better things to play at this time. However, in March 2016, is published with the 12th expansion, Code Enchant Elboros. The effect of Elboros combined with After the Typhoon literally shatters the opponent's games and resources. As a result, in June 2016, so very shortly after the release of Elboros, Takara Tomy updated the Maze Room which is the banlist for Recross, prohibiting players from playing these two cards in the same deck. A way less powerful art, one time, one meeting, which can only be used if we have Cross Signy on the field, so no. Then we have our Alice, Enma of Purgatory, she's really cool looking, but that's it. Then we have an unplayed card, but this card is so nice, Blood Dance. Blood Dance is not played because it requires Cross Signy, but its ability to target one opponent Signy and make her lose 10k of power is really strong. The artwork is a masterpiece. There's a great compositional work, really, it's one of the cards I think that I prefer from this set because she's really nice. Really an awesome card, just look at it. Attract Punish, an art which was played in some specific Ulyss deck. And now my probably favorite card of all time in Recross, ability speaking, Exclude. You can target 3 cards in your opponent's trash and you exclude them for the current duel. Only for 1 NR. I personally found that abusively strong because we can manage and handle more properly the resources from our opponents directly from his or her trash. I mean, handling our opponent's resources, that's just too good. And now we're gonna reveal the super rares and oh lord. Just the first one, just herself. Milky Way, Natural Planet Queen. She is the ace card of every Sachet decks. When she enters the field, for 2 white and air, if we have a Resonant on the field, we can target 1 Signy on the opponent's field and return it to the owner's hand. Well, okay, it's a bit pricey, but that's still really strong. Also, when she enters the field, until the end of turn, 1 of 4 Resonant get this Signy is unaffected by the effect of your opponent's arts. And that's awesome. And finally, she also have a life burst ability, choose one, down one of your opponent's Elrig, or search your deck for a Cosmos Signy, reveal it and put it into the field, or add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. That's too strong. She isn't a dead card in your hand, she isn't a dead card in your life burst, but on the other hand, you have to play Resonant, otherwise Milky Way will be more meh than anything else. But Sachet is designed to play with Resonant. There's not much more to say, but she's a really crazy cool card. Meteor Advantage, another really cool card. As Milky Way, she's still played in Sachet's deck, and I've also seen her in some Carnival build. I'll let you pause the video in order to read her ability, but yeah, that's a hit for sure. The illustration is also really cool. We're going fast on this one. Fire Rage, Ballista, Signy is working with the cross mechanic, as you can see, because that's the first line in her abilities text. That's bad, like crazy bad. Do not play this. Fissure of Conflagration, a card that must be played, no trick, in Red Tama's deck. Because with that, we're gonna be able to inflict 2 crush to our opponents, which is insane, and even a life burst ability. Vanish any number Signy on your opponent's field with total power 8k or less. That's a perfect card for Red Tama deck, but as there are really a few Red Tama decks, we don't see frequently this card. H, Natural Element for Hydrogen. Same, it's a cross card, looks like Fire Rage, but her action ability is way more cool because it doesn't require H to be crossed. Counterpart, it costs 3 blue and air only to vanish 1 Signy, that's really pricey, but we can still decrease the cost by X by discarding X Atom Signy. Life Burst, for each of your Atom Signy on the field, vanish 1 Signy, that's really strong. And last but not least, the illustration is awesome. Jackpot! Incredible Jackpot! SL which is mainly played into Milulune decks but which haven't been that much seen because the effect of this card is more binding than helpful and its cost doesn't help at all. As it's really situational, this card hasn't been that much played. On the other hand, the red SL for Tama was a real hit. Upcoming on screen, Hare. Phantom Beast. That's the most versatile, powerful played card of and in almost every Midorico's deck. She was so good that she was also reprinted in the later set, but for now, let's have a look on this one. So it's a cross card, but absolutely nobody plays her for the cross ability. Everyone plays her for her action ability, which says, for 1 green and air, target 1 Signy in your ender zone and add the target in your hand. 1 line. 1 single line, allowing us to cycle our ender zone. The best of it, Midorico is designed to put cards into the ender zone. Life burst abilities being target and vanish 1 opponent Signy with at least 8k of power. No lies, that's a bit bad, but who cares? Because dear God praise the Lord, her action ability is insane and she's so beautiful. Perforation, not so crazy, Baldi hasn't seen that played. Midorico has way more strong spell, even if we can reduce the cost of this one, but well, no. Rarely, even if it can be almost free to play, it's still a no. Ungyu, right image of destruction, resurrected to Ulyss. Playing with the charm mechanic alongside being a cross Signy, so we didn't see that play, that's complicated. The illustration is awesome, but as the left part of this card is creepy, well, no plays. Desperade for 11 black and air. We can reduce its cost to buy max 6. It's pricey to play, but the effect is very strong. Vanish one or fewer Signy, and if you do so, target and vanish one opponent's Signy. Then, put one Demon Signy from your trash onto your field. With that part, we can recycle on-plays abilities. And then, add one Demon Signy from your trash to your life clause. So, we also get an extra life. That's really strong, even if it's a dead card, as long as we do not control 3 Demon Signy on your field. That's absolutely crazy, the illustration is absolutely crazy. I'd love to see a reprint of this card one day. Still, this card is often played in Udyss deck. That's it for the super rares, so we're going to go through commons and rares by now, starting with the rares one. The first one is Alphard, Natural Star. Not a card that has been played because there were already way better cards to play, so nope, no place for her. Alpheka, Natural Planet, target a max level 3 signal in the opponent's field right into the end. It's a bit bad. However, here's the strongest rare card of this set, which is probably a short print because I haven't seen her more than once in a display. Mimosa, Natural Planet. Action ability, we don her, and then we look for one Cosmos Signy of max level 3 in our deck, over the Mimosa, we level it, and then add the target in our hand. That's awesome, that's simply awesome. Level 3, 7k of power, well, not the strongest Signy, but, and without any doubt, the best Signy for any Sachet deck. Without her, playing Sachet is a bit hard, because I mean, well, with her, we can manage our resources, we manage our Cosmos, that's incredibly strong. She's followed by Flathrow Major, Crossbow Flame. Flathrow is an archetype played by Hanayo, so we'll skip it. Musketeer Raring Gun, okay well, when she enters the field on the right and after the one on the left, her power becomes 15k, and we can target Signy with max 5k of power and vanish it. That's not crazy, but she was playing some cross-red Tama decks. But it's too complicated to play. Okay, so now we have Gunsword, Explosive Gun. Same as Musketeer, she has to be played on the right of another card, in her case Shield Missile, Shield Gun, but that's awful. In fact, the cross mechanic is buried in itself. It could be a stronger mechanics, but as there is no strong cross card, that's not it. Unoctonium Natural Element, we already talked about this card in our episode on the Promised Neverland, so I let you check on that. But it's her constant ability which made this card a good one for the early Atom decks, and I think that's it about that. Oh, Natural Element for the Oxygen, she hasn't been played that much because okay, she allows to draw one, but it's a cross-on-play ability, so that's not crazy at all. And Natural Element on the right of the carbon as O, but that's not crazy. And then we meet Rakuda, Phantom Beast. When one of our Signy with Lancer crushes one opponent's life clause, we draw a card. That's cool, but for level 4, Midoriko has already way better Signy to play. Tortoise, Phantom Beast, on a cross center she can allow us to enter one, but Harry by herself is just way better, so unfortunately she's not played. Cheetah, Phantom Beast, same cross card issue, she's not played as you, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad. Daiva, Flickering Sinful Elegance, really cool level 4 Signy playing around the charms. Still, as the charm was very played, Daiva is very played too, and also her level 4 hasn't helped her. Same issue with Ague, left image of Transgression, which has to be played on the right of the super rare Ungue. Still, her effect is way better than a lot of cross cards that we already seen, allowing us to attach her a charm and to decrease the power of one opponent's Signy by 5k. But still, she's a cross, so she's not played. Fallen left scene on the right of Feles. Feles is a common in this set, but both are awful. That's it for the rares, and so here's the first common of this set, Almac, Natural Planet. No ability, level 4, even her 15k of power hasn't helped her at all. Also, she's not searchable in the deck with Mimosa for example, so she's an absolute garbage. Regulus, Natural Planet, her ability will be shared by every color in this set and adapt at every level, as long as we control 3 Signy of the same archetype. For her it's Cosmos, then the power of the Signies change. Is it strong? Clearly not enough. Besides, Alena, Natural Planet, has been and is still really played. And why? Because by discarding one Cosmos Signy, we can summon one Resona of max level 3 from all deck, while ignoring her Emergence condition. Moreover, at the end of the turn, the Resona that have been summoned this way return into the early deck. That's awesome, because it allows us to spam the unplay abilities of Resona, use Death Strength during the battle phase, and all of that without any counterpart, and they still go back into the Eldritch deck. We didn't lose anything by playing Alena, so that's absolutely awesome. Arcturus, Natural Planet. I believe that this Signy was heavily played when released, but not so much today, because as long as we control 3 Cosmos Signy, all of our Signies gain 2k of power. It's not that good as we have to control 3 Cosmos Signy. But for a level 2, she's not that bad, and when released for a Sachet deck, she was clearly a good choice. Adar, Natural Planet, a level 2, as long as we control 3 Cosmos Signy, her power becomes 9k, not so crazy. Spica, Natural Planet. When she's vanished, we can pay 1 white and and if so, we can search for 1 Arcturus in our deck and add it to the end. That's really cool, because it allows us to grab 1 Arcturus for the upcoming turn, and she also allows us to draw 1 card with her Life Burst ability. As it's always cool to draw, and as Arcturus isn't bad, she was really played back in the days. Antares, unplayed. Get out, return up to 2 Signy on your opponent's field to the opponent's end for 4 NR that wasn't really played. Kalanico, Riding Gun, same mechanism, as long as we control 3 weapon Signies, our power becomes 40k, not crazy but exists. Uzi, Explosive Gun, absolute same thing as Kalanico. Shield Missile, Shield Gun, please read the effect because I really want that so terrible that is not played. Glock, Small Gun, same as Uzi and Kalanico, nothing to say more here. Absolute Flame War, a cost of 0 NR, it's something that is still sometimes played. The effect of targeting and vanishing one Signy with 2k or less is not that great, but the card is free. And that's why it's cool and can be played easily. US Natural Element, the same mechanic but for Atom Signy. Level 3 with a power of 14k as long as we control 3 Atom Signy, barely played but exists. UP, which goes to 9k, a little bit more played as she's a level 2 but nothing remarkable. C Natural Element, well, hasn't been played, why? She's simply bad. UT, same as UP and US. A spell, Fritz Through, which is not played cause it's bad. Cross Rush, a quite good card, a normal ability. Our opponents discard 1 card of their hand, and if we control Cross Signy, we draw 1 card. Life Burst, we can search, reveal, and add 1 Cross Signy from all deck to our hand. That's just okay. But well, the card is nice, but the card is not played. Same thing for the Cryptids with Yena Phantom Beast, as long as we control 3 Aerial Beast or Terra Beast, Signies, our power change. Same for Agetaka and Solheim as well. You, Phantom Beast, we've talked a bit about her, but she's really bad. Nobody has an interest in her, so we pass on it. Alinezu, same as the 2 previous one. Still, the illustration is lit, but the card is extinguished. And now the spell Unification. For free, we level 5. Send all green card revealed that way into our Enna zone and every remaining card into the trash. That's a usually played card in Udi's deck, but not this much in green decks. Why, would you ask? Simply because Ulysse plays a lot with a trash, and sending 3 plus 5 cards freely into the trash, that's really cool for her. Explosive Strike, a misspell, it could have been strong, but as it requires Cross Signy, it's not so crazy. We turn into the black card, starting with the same mechanism introducing Druge, Abundant Woman of Collapse, as we control 3 demons or powers, become 14k. Apausha, Dream Woman of Collapse, lit artwork but lame ability. Feles, Fallen Right Scene, okay, with foes, they're sumptuous, they're both sumptuous, but their beauty apart, that's really bad. Azida, Designation of Failure, perfect name for such a failure. Death like Death, a staple. Probably the only staple of this entire set, as it can be easily placed into almost any decks. Why? Because her cost of only 1 black and air is absolutely gigantic. Discard 1 card, if you do, vanish target Signy on your opponent field. That's foolishly strong. The illustration with is stunning. One more time, it's frightening simple and deadly effective. Last spell, Dead Cross, unplayed, not strong, but could be if Cross were a thing. Finally, we are now meeting the servant of this set, QTDNO, with the same ability, multi-NR and having guard, so we can discard them in order to avoid 1 crush caused by our opponent's Rudigu. And here's the complete set, more or less, because after that there is still the secret rares. Well, among the 8 secret rares, we already say it, the 6 first are simply the 6 first really rare in secret rare, but for the 2 others, that's another story. The first one is Spirit Salvage with Tama on it, allowing us to add 1 art other than itself from our Eric Trash to our Eric deck for only 1 white and air. That's really super strong. We've only seen this card before in a special set that you will see on screen. The work on this copy is perfect. Tama is marvelous here. And the second secret rare is Modern Boundary with Tama on it too. Declare one number, then reveal the top 3 card of your deck. If there is a Signy whose level is the declare number, return target Signy on your opponent's fields into their owner's hand, then return the cards revealed by this effect on the top of your deck in any order. Same as Spirit Salvage, we've already seen this card on 2 other sets, which are currently displayed on screen. The card is fantastic, the foiling is stunning, Tama is incredible here, that's really too cool. So, technically, in order to end the presentation of this full set, we're still missing one card, which is the Sleeping Rarity of Sachet, with the 3 question mark on the bottom left. I don't own it, but I really hope that we will find it in all the display that I have. Before leaving you, I've opened already a display, so I will spare you the booster opening, and so we can just go through the hits that I pulled. And so here we go. So I got Milulune, Fire Rage, Fissure of Conflagration, Ash, Natural Element, the Cryptid Array, which brings me an insane joy, and only one Mimosa in this display. That's the end of this video, thanks for watching. We'll see soon for the opening of another display of the next selector set. Until that, take care and back to the studio.